This is Force 13 and welcome to our second update on Tropical Storm 36W. Currently on the screen is a satellite imagery of the system, and the storm is located in Northwest Basin at 7.2 degrees north, 103 degrees east. Current intensity 40 knots, center moving at 9 knots at the bearing of 300 degrees. Minimum central pressure at this point in time is 1002 millibars. Here's what the Vietnam Weather Office is currently saying. And for Friday, they have it remaining as a tropical storm with maximum sustained winds at 78 kilometers an hour. Then looking over for the weekend, remaining tropical storm 65 kilometers an hour. So that's the latest from that weather office. And what's the Joint Typhoon Warning Centre saying? They have it 7.5 degrees north, 102.5 degrees east, about 308 nautical miles southwest of Ho Chi Minh City, tracking northwest at 9 knots over the last 6 hours, and wave height is 17 feet. Animated and enhanced infrared satellite imagery and a 89 GHz image depict a slowly consolidating system with improved deep convective banding. A 37 GHz image also suggests improved shadow banding over the eastern semicircle, and the current intensity is assessed at 40 knots based on an average of VOAC intensity estimates ranging from T2.5 35 knots to T3, which is 45 knots. Excellent poleward outflow, warm 28-29 Celsius sea surface temperature is being offset by moderate to strong vertical wind shear, limiting intensification. The cyclone is tracking along the southern periphery of a deep layered subtropical ridge positioned to the north. Tropical Storm 36W expected to track west-northwest through the next 72 hours as it rounds the southwestern periphery of the steering ridge. The forecast intensity is expected to reach a peak of 45 knots within 12 hours, just prior to landfall, as vertical wind shear is expected to decrease slightly. However, spread in the model guidance has decreased to 120 nautical miles at the 72-hour mark. And this lends support to high confidence in the Joint Typhoon Warning Centre's portion of the forecast track, which is placed close to the multi-model consensus. Now here's a look at the various NOAA floaters. After 72 hours has been reached, the tropical storm will begin to turn northwest to north-northeast as it recurves around the western periphery of the steering ridge and begins to interact with a deep mid-latitude shortwave trough. The tropical storm will weaken rapidly due to strong vertical wind shear, upper level convergence associated with the aforementioned trough, and dry air factor comes into play. Low level northeasterly surge flow The bulk of the dynamic models or model vortex trackers are in tight agreement. And since our first update, I have been monitoring various accounts on the Twitter platform, media reporting from Vietnam. What I cited was a report of 300 millimeters for some of the provinces over there in Vietnam, and authorities are really concerned at what this system is going to do. Now we have a look at other related information and various tracks. When viewing non-official weather sources, caution needs to be applied. The information does change considerably, and models are run numerous times in a 24-hour period. Late cycle track guidance. This was 12 UTC on the 3rd. Now, the rainfall factor. This is sourced from the HWRF model, and the rainfall scale is on the right hand side of the screen, and this would be in inches, so 300 millimeters, and that's being conservative. Now we have a look at the winds, and quite a bit of area in green, and again the wind strength scale right hand side of the screen. And the HWRF track and the various models on the right hand side of the screen, and they're represented by the different colours. And intensity, and none are indicating a category 1 cyclone. So tropical storm would be a category 1 down here in the southern hemisphere. Now the GFS model on 36W HWRF, and the scale is on the right hand side of the screen. The HWRF parent, that is separate to the HWRF, and you can clearly see that it will be a weak low. Now this is the latest from the Japanese Meteorological Agency. They only have it 30 knots. Now we have a look at total precipitable water, and you can clearly see where 36W is located. Then you're coming down into the Pacific region. You can see tropical cyclone Penny, which is now a category 2. You can see tropical cyclone Mona, category 1 at this point in time, Fiji. Now we have a look at Cyclone Phase, the UK Met, and the sea surface temperature is the scale above the different circles, different colours, and that is pressure. The Navy's NAFGEM and the NCEP GFS, and you can note a bit of the green. And Pivotal Weather website, it's a GFS total accumulated precipitation. And what I look for is the area in yellow through to dark brown, and the rainfall scale is at the bottom of the screen. And we switch once again to the HWRF for the winds. And they're saying up to 64 knots. And upper level divergence. The upper level divergence over 36W is up around the 60 knot mark, which is fairly strong. And the wind shear, the red's unfavourable, green are favourable, yellow neutral. The 24-hour shear tendency, and you can actually see quite a bit of the green, so the wind shear is a bit of an issue. And my favourite, the 850 millibar vorticity. The vorticity intensity scale is at the right hand side of the screen. And finally we have 90W, Tropical Cyclone Penny and Mona. We will continue to bring the latest information on 36W, and stay tuned for updated information on the other systems.
You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com, our YouTube page youtube.com/Force13, on Facebook under the same name Force13, and our Twitter handle, it's @Force13 if you wish to get in touch. You can also add Force 13 on Skype and my personal account on Discord, Fool13, at extension 9094.